That's our food. That's our food. Let's see if anyone's in the chat room. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Torn Tuesday, your weekly dose of all things Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. We have a special announcement. Cliff has given up his post, and Crystal is our new permanent host.
Yes, I'm not shaving my head, but yes, I'm here.
I don't think Cliff shaves his head.
That's fair.
Or maybe he does.
Well, if you wanted me to look alike.
Yes. Hello, everybody. So we've been doing the show for 7 years, and the chat room is just coming online. Hello, Tamar, Madeline. Hey, it is really exciting time because it is Thanksgiving week in 2019, and we know what that means. Potatoes for everyone. And the last few years, we have done a big Thanksgiving feast, but since Cliff's not here, and Kelly's not here, and Hannah's not here, and half my friends went to go work for Weta, I'm here with Crystal, who came all the way from Australia, part of the Commonwealth.
Yep.
And so we found a local place that had potatoes.
Yeah. Went to many different places. I tried to find a baked potato, like a whole baked potato, but apparently it's too basic now, and everything is fries or tater tops. So we have awesome potato wedges.
Tater wedges. Boil them, mash them, stick them in stew, and wedge them.
That's right.
I don't know what that means. It's weird that baked potatoes used to be everywhere. Like, you could get a baked potato at Wendy's.
Mm-hmm.
You could, every restaurant gave you a baked potato, whether you wanted it or not. And now you can't even find a baked potato if you want one.
Correct. Well, I mean, it's in a, yes, because they have mash it or fries, not necessarily.
Christina in the chat says, I've been sending potato gifts to all my family. Tell us.
How?
Do you send potato gifts? Now, is it the Samwise potato, or are there actually a whole group of gifts of potatoes? Is there like animated potatoes that are just like dancing in place like a happy potato? But here's the thing about happy potatoes is that every friend I've ever known that has felt like a potato is usually sad. Like, I'm a potato. Aww. So potatoes aren't really happy food, are they?
They're fulfilling food. I don't know about happy.
When you think of potato, do you think happy?
No. I mean, Potato Head was a pretty grumpy character.
Samwise might be the only person in narrative and real life history to get excited about potatoes. Hi, every pony. Oh, wrong fandom. Yes, Andrew, wrong fandom, but I understood that reference.
Good job.
That reference. Tamar says potatoes are versatile AF. I'd be happy being a potato. Yeah, they are versatile.
They are very versatile. You can make so much out of them.
You can make potato tacos.
Yes.
Breakfast burritos have potatoes. So you can have a breakfast burrito with potatoes. You can have French fries with your hamburger at lunch. And then you can have a baked potato or mashed potatoes at dinner. And then supper, you could have potato soup. So you could literally, you know what's true?
And potato chips, any time of the day.
Here's the thing about potatoes, and this is what Samwise was onto, and no one knows it. This is the secret of potatoes. And we're excited that Scum and Villainy serves potatoes here in the form of tater tots.
Tater tots.
Guess what? You'll never believe this. You can lose a ton of weight eating potatoes. Potatoes are one of the most healthiest foods, and you can eat potatoes and lose hundreds of pounds. I'm not even joking.
Fantastic.
And if you don't believe me, look up Penn Jillette. You know the magician Penn and Teller, Las Vegas?
Yeah.
You know, there's Penn, the big boisterous loudmouth, and his quiet little sidekick.
Yeah.
So the big boisterous guy, he had like a heart attack or something like that. And the doctor said, you got to lose some weight. You got to get on a diet.
Mm-hmm.
Penn Jillette got on an all potato diet. There are YouTube videos. There are articles about it. You can look it up on YouTube. Look for Penn and Teller potato diet or Penn potato diet. He literally ate only potatoes for every single meal for years.
Wow.
He lost over 150 pounds.
There you go.
Potatoes are where it's at. And I think the stupid fat hobbit was fat because of the lembas bread.
Aha.
He was just trying to eat healthy with the potatoes.
There was Samwise bread.
Samwise was trying to be healthy with potatoes, and then we get it. So Thanksgiving week, it's all about potatoes. It's the one food that everybody will eat at Thanksgiving, you know?
It's got nothing to do with the hobbits having 8 meals a day or anything.
Sarah Theron says it's literally been 6 years since I watched MLP. And if you know what that means, good on you. What about all 8 Hobbit meals? Look, we can't look. I believe that there is a Hobbit, there's a potato food for every.
You could. I love it. Yeah, potatoes can be served more than 8 different ways. So.
That's right. Uh-oh, we got a loose mic.
I'm all good.
Okay.
I'm back.
Don't move. No sudden movements. It's visions based on movement. So yeah, I'm gonna start. I assume Cliff is still busy with family matters. Andrew Laubacker, appreciate your support. Yes, Cliff is still dealing with a personal family issue. If you find him on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter and Instagram at QuickBeam2000, he's got a link to a GoFundMe to help his family get through some heavy medical bills that are no doubt coming. So Cliff, we're thinking about you. We're trying to hold down the fort and bring as much energy as possible. Yes. We definitely cannot bring the intelligence.
No.
At least I can't. I can't speak for you.
No, I'm not even gonna pretend to know everything that Cliff knows.
Anyway, headline of the day. You saw it in the title. You probably clicked through.
Yes.
What is this? Torn Tuesday. Breaking news. The latest information that we have on Amazon's Lord of the Rings series. We have the latest rumors, and the new rumor is totally unsubstantiated, but this is why we're a fan site, and we're not comicbookmovie.com, or we're not Nerdist, or IGN, or Vanity Fair.
We don't know the facts. We have the rumors.
we report on the rumors.
That's right.
If it was a real thing, it might be posted on the website, but this live show here we're doing today, we can talk about whatever we want.
That's right.
And what is the latest rumor going around the internet?
Well, I mean, there's a couple of rumors, but if you're referring to the one where they're saying, so this is sources tell us that the true main character in Amazon's blockbuster Lord of the Rings TV series is Eldian. She is described as a complex, unique, and formidable young woman in her mid-20s who possesses an eternal quality and a strong physical component. And they're still negotiating as to who's going to be cast.
Hang on. Okay, if I heard that right, the main character out of an ensemble cast that's no doubt going to happen, the main character is going to be a 20-something woman, I should say?
Yes.
Guys, what do you think? The hotline is 530-64-FRODO. Usually it's scrolling on screen, but we're upgrading the studios this week, so we don't have any graphics. Cool. So we could type it in the chat. 530 is the phone number. 530-64-FRODO. That's really my phone number. It goes right to my phone. You got to spell out Frodo. It's 643-7636, I think. I forget.
And
guys, chat room. What are your immediate thoughts of the Lord of the Rings TV series being fronted by a female character that doesn't exist?
Interesting. I mean, Andrew says that Eldian could be still Galadriel. We don't know, I guess.
Ooh, I like that. Andrew says Eldian might be a code word for Galadriel.
Maybe a nickname?
A 20-something-year-old female as the lead. Hell yes, says Tamar Madeline. Rebecca Boyle says, sounds a bit bland to me. for in that age, people didn't even do much until they were much older. Tamar says, I bet Eldian will be less of a girl than Frodo. Your words, not mine.
I love
I'm just the
counting how
messenger.
I love counting how many times Frodo like falls over in the movie. That's a lot.
He's such a whiner. He's so whining. Hey, so what was your first response? You saw the news come up online. Again, unsubstantiated rumors at this point. What is your first response as a lifelong Tolkien fan that this is going to be a show about a 20-something girl?
Well, I mean, with the cast that they have and the as many people that they will cast, I mean, I doubt it's going to be just solely about one character.
Of course.
Right, and I'm all about the supporting characters. Their roles are usually very like in-depth and funny as well. But if it is, then so be it. As long as, I guess, not a political push behind it, and we see that. Like, I don't want to disguise it a bit better than just, oh yeah, we need a female lead, so we're going to pick this. Is it a made-up character, or is it a real Tolkien character, first of all?
First, the rumors are these are all new characters.
Okay.
You know, let me ask you this. Do you feel that the era, the filmmaking era of the strong 20-something female lead, you know, you had the Hunger Games and you had the Maze Runner and you had the biggest flop of 2018, Mortal Engines, not directed by Peter Jackson.
Nope.
All we've seen in the last couple years is fewer and fewer returns on female-driven action adventure stories. Those three in particular. Mortal Engines was a complete box office bomb, unfortunately. I thought it was decent when I watched it on HBO, but yeah, Mortal Engines, Maze Runner. What else? Hunger Games. Like, there's so many of them. So I hear this, that Eldian is the lead character, a 20-something with action-adventure guts and glory. Don't you think that phase of filmmaking has passed?
When I admire a character or follow a character or it's my favorite one, I'm not really looking at if it's a male or female or has red hair or blonde hair. It's more like the values that I can connect to it with. It's
okay.
So like for me, it doesn't matter if it's a guy or a girl that's leading the show.
Okay.
It's more about if I can relate to it, their decisions, if I think they're making stupid decisions.
So gender doesn't even come into the equation. Like, you just
for me, I mean, for other people maybe, sure, but like
But you know Tolkien fandom. This was a story written by a man in a certain era of society. At the end of the empirical British Empire, all of the characters in the books are leading men, right? There are no women characters in The Hobbit at all. And then the filmmakers took advantage of that situation, added a strong female character in The Hobbit, and then the studio got meddled into it, and the studio ruined that character, unfortunately. I'd love to see a non-studio edit. Give us the cool tutorial cut. So you don't. It's a non-issue, right? I think everyone was expecting Lord of the Rings to be, another action.
I hope there's action for sure.
Okay.
But again, for me, it doesn't matter as long as it's written well and acted well and everything. Then cool.
Okay. All right. So they're saying that is the main character, Eldian, 20-something girl. Casting negotiations are happening right now. So they have an actress in mind. They're going through the motions of negotiating the contracts and the rights and how many seasons can they get her at a certain price and things like that. We have no idea who that's going to be.
Nope.
The other casting
they mentioned
positing that I wanted to bring up. Well, you have more in that article, right?
Yeah, they mentioned like about 5 different characters.
Well, we already know Will Poulter
Yeah.
has joined a cast of 2 other guys and a girl in unknown roles. Andrew in the chat room is saying Beldor and Neldor might be Elrond and Elros.
Yeah.
So Elrond had a twin brother. I didn't know if you guys know this. If Cliff was here, he could tell you all about it and spend 20 minutes doing it.
Yeah.
Elrond has a twin brother. Of course, Elrond was alive in the Second Age. So was Galadriel. Because the elves received the rings. Remember, 9 rings of men, 7 to the dwarf lords, 3 to the elves. So all of the leading characters are potentially part of this series. We're going to see the rings given to all of the leads.
That's what I mean. There's so many other interesting characters that we're going to get to know that I don't feel like it's going to be one main character.
Ellen makes a great point in the chat room, and this is great. Ellen says, I hope the phase of strong female leads will never pass. Almost the entire history of film has focused mostly on white men and their protagonists. It's important to see other people's as protagonists, and we don't have to give up white men as leads. We just want others to be included as leads.
Fair point.
That's it's not a non-issue.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is the reason that we want to talk about this, and we want to talk about this with you guys.
Yes.
Is we live in a society, right? Star Wars is everywhere, and you can't avoid the toxicity of Star Wars fandom right now. There are whole sections of Star Wars fandom that have taken issue with Rey, an entire Star Wars trilogy led by a 20-something girl with actions and her own motivations, and suddenly she's strong in the Force and she can lift a bunch of rocks with no Yoda teaching her how to do that. What? And everyone's like, oh, so she didn't have to earn that. It's like there's an entire subtext of misogyny happening in Star Wars that we want to confront head on and just head it off at the pass and say, not here, not in Ringer fandom. We're open to anything. It's literally a non-issue. Guy, girl, man, woman, any culture, any gender. This could be a female-led show, and we're all going to watch it.
Yeah, regardless.
It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
So, Ellen, you're absolutely right. By the way, there was a new stat that just came out from the Hollywood unions today that 50% of all TV episodes in the 2018-2019 television season, the TV shows that we're watching right now, 50% of all episodes were directed by women.
There you go.
So it's taken so long, but equality we're finally there. And so I'm glad to see there's a bunch of women in the writers' room. Jennifer Hutchinson, what's her name? Helen Shang, Jennifer Hutchinson, a bunch of people. But we still want to see female directors behind the camera managing the sets too.
Sure.
Did you see the latest episode of Star Wars Mandalorian?
I saw the first episode.
But not the latest one.
I have not.
The latest one was directed by Deborah Chow. It was the first Star Wars anything to be directed by a woman, and they have now given her the entire Obi-Wan TV series.
Well,
so
she must have done a good job
we want to see that kind of energy brought to Tolkien fandom. So
definitely.
Let's see. Who else in the chat room? What else are people saying in the chat room? Actually, why couldn't they gender bend some of the kings of men the rings were giving to? They said men as a race, not that they were necessarily men. This is true.
I see that loophole.
So 9 were given to the kings of men who above all desired power. Kings of men.
Yes.
So could we have a king, a female
queen
king
of men?
Absolutely. Would you be okay
Could
with
happen.
that?
I don't know. Was that Tolkien's intent? I don't know. Or is it a loophole that we're gonna
We're beyond
use?
Tolkien. We're beyond Tolkien's intent now. He's been dead 50 years.
Okay.
Amazon's in charge. Jeff Bezos is the most richest man in the history of the world. Do you think the kings of men included women? Should they?
don't
Should
know.
it? In this TV show, your hesitation speaks volumes.
Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that. It's a good point to bring up. I mean, maybe that's something that the writers are thinking of as well. Like, where can we put in something different, like some female characters or things that wouldn't be too controversial?
The other thing we know for sure is that the dwarves could have a female king because dwarven women are bearded, and many
Again,
other
fair point.
races mistake them for the men. So it's quite possible that some of the seven kings of dwarves were women.
I definitely want to see more female dwarves in this TV series. I think that would
Really?
be fantastic. Yeah, why not? We never get to see them.
Why?
Because we didn't get to see them before.
Do you think there's hype behind the?
They don't have to be main characters or anything. I just want to know they exist. Maybe we'll see Entwives. Oh, well, it's not probably second age, but it could be interesting.
Ooh, that'd be good. I think a lot of fans. The word king. This is a good question. Good comment from Scuba Steve. The word king kind of obviously implies that they were men, but that can totally be changed. Yes, it can. Dwarf queen seems less likely. Look, Andrew, that's a great that's a comment, but I will push back on that and saying I think, based on what we've seen in Lord of the Rings, at least the movies and Hobbit, that I don't know. The feeling I get is that dwarven men have more respect for their female counterparts than men, the race of men, have for women. That's just from the conversations that we've seen on screen so far. There is much equal respect that the dwarves have for their women.
As do the elves as well.
As do the elves. Yeah.
This is mankind.
Totally. but at every chance, the race of men has like told Éowyn, hey, you need to stay with the people. Hey, take them to Helm's Deep. Hey, stay behind. Daddy's trying to control Arwen's life. I see. So it's. Yeah, I think dwarves are the ones to have female rulers. Nigel, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. Did I miss the reveal? No, we're here live. We're gonna repeat it. The latest rumors that we're hearing, as reported by a couple rumor-mongering websites. Again, everything we can do is everything we can talk about is subjective because
completely subjective.
Until Amazon puts out a press release, we don't know. But the latest rumors are the main character of Amazon's Lord of the Rings series
is Eldian.
Who is
we don't know if she's an elf or a person either, because let me read it again. She's described as a complex, unique, and formidable young woman in her mid-20s who possesses an eternal quality and a strong physical component. And they still haven't decided who's going to be playing the role yet. But I mean, what do they mean by an eternal quality?
Eternal quality. First off, some people in the chat room said maybe that is a code word for young Galadriel. Would you be okay with young Galadriel?
I think that'd be pretty cool.
Do you? But a Galadriel is an ageless wonder. There's only one person that should play Galadriel, and that's Cate Blanchett, and she hasn't aged a day.
Sweet.
And
so
I would totally be okay. So what? But what if? We already know Will Poulter looks like Hugo Weaving.
Yes.
What if they find a 20-something that looks like Cate Blanchett, and it's young Elrond's twin brother, and young Galadriel gallivanting around the Second Age with a 20-something hot Sauron?
I think that'd be fun. What do you guys think? Would you be into that, or what other storylines do we want?
It's starting to feel like Rivendell, like Riverdale, the
Oh, no.
CW show. This is starting to feel like, angsty 20-somethings,
Oh, no.
Dealing with the Second Age and the fall of Numenor.
Well, the other characters that they have in here are pretty interestingly described as
There's
well.
more. There's more reported.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. Go ahead.
So other series regulars may include Neldor, a similar archetype as Beldor, Brack, the, irascible and cantankerous. Where's Clifford?
That means annoying and mean.
Yes. It's just hard to pronounce. Half of a dramatic duo. Era, a warm and maternal woman. Arik, a charismatic character with a strong physical role. Calanon, a ruggedly handsome and brooding soldier hero. Loda, an earthy man who doesn't give his feelings away easily. And Kari, a self-sufficient single mother and village healer with a secret. Hamson, a kind and loving family man with health issues. And Cole, a charismatic but mercurial, I swear I can speak English,
Yes.
young man who has the weight of the world on his shoulders. So there's a lot in there.
That's right. You're watching a live stream of people reading their phones because this is the latest rumors of Amazon's Lord of the Rings series, and we want to make sure that we're giving you the rumors as accurately as possible.
Yes.
Any chance of Ents and Entwives? I don't think so. Not yet. And I don't think they should. At least for the first season.
Not for the first season.
No. I think Ents would be a third season addition to really bring back fans.
Yeah, to connect.
Hey, the other thing I wanted to, the other casting rumor. It's totally unsubstantiated.
More rumors.
But we love talking about this.
Can of worms.
Guess what happened this weekend?
I give up.
We got a new follow on Twitter from a major star with a blue check mark next to his name.
Yes.
And he retweeted something that we posted on Twitter. So we got a new follow, and we got a retweet from an actor. An actor that
from
is
New Zealand.
Totally A-list. He is triple A-list actor. Why would he be following our little fan site who doesn't even have a blue check mark? Why would he even be engaging with us?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And where's he from?
Well, he's born in New Zealand, but
that's all we need to know.
Grew up in Australia.
Yeah. He's born in New Zealand. They're shooting Lord of the Rings in New Zealand.
Yeah.
He's born in New Zealand. He started following, he retweeted the OneRing.net. Guys, would you be happy, as happy as I am, if Russell Crowe joined the cast of Lord of the Rings on Amazon Prime?
What?
Russell Crowe has no business following the OneRing.net unless his agent told him to. Can you imagine the Emmy party that we would have and Russell Crowe came to our Emmy party?
It'd be so cool.
Get that guy a beer and 10.
Yes. And if you can picture him on this series, what character would you think? Do you think he would be a king or a ranger or a dwarf? Like, what would you see him as?
I see Russell Crowe as one of the kings of men that get corrupted. Maybe even the king of Angmar, the guy that becomes the witch king of Angmar. But what do you see Russell Crowe playing?
I mean, he does have that kingly stature, but I could also see him as a dwarf king or dwarf warrior, a dwarf gladiator. I don't know.
So the only dwarf king that we've seen so far is Richard Armitage as Thorin Oakenshield.
Yep.
Be still
not replacing
my
that one.
beating heart. That man, there's a video on YouTube where Cliff went to Comic-Con before The Hobbit came out and interviewed Richard Armitage, and he asked him about the Silmarillion.
Oh.
And Richard squared up to Cliff, looked deep into Cliff's eyes, and gave a 10-minute response on the power of the Silmarillion and storytelling.
Oh my goodness.
And you could see Cliff melt on camera, and we all melted watching it.
That's the kind of characters.
On YouTube, Richard Armitage talks Silmarillion. Look for it.
I will.
So if that's our threshold for a Dwarven king, Russell Crowe would be a great great dwarven king that gets corrupted by a ring. No, wait, do the dwarves even get corrupted?
I think they'd just be like, thanks for the ring, guys. We're going.
Yeah, I think Cliff could tell us. We know the kings of men get corrupted, but do the dwarves get corrupted?
I'm pretty sure they just like go back into the mines and be like, thanks for the jewelry.
Sarah in the chat room says, Russell Crowe would be so cool.
Yes.
Rebecca says he's not a spring chicken, so I'm thinking an older king. Tamar says, meh, we're not massive fans of Crowe here in the UK. Brennan Marr says, as long as he doesn't sing. Amen. Amen, brother. I'm with you on that.
That's fine.
The rings just made the dwarves more greedy. Thank you for that answer.
That's the one. Yeah.
They became more selfish, but they didn't
not corrupted.
So can you imagine Dwarven King Russell Crowe accepting the ring sometime in the first season and then becoming more selfish? He's exactly the right guy for that character.
Come on.
He is exactly the right guy for that character. So again, total unsubstantiated, but we're just kind of we're just kind of making assumptions based on what happens on Twitter. Russell Crowe has no business retweeting the OneRing.net. We're just a little old fan site with 100,000 followers. He's got like millions, and his movies have made billions. And he was Noah, the man who built the ark. He was Gladiator.
He was Gladiator.
He is an older, broodier, bruised figure at this point in his life. He would make a great addition. And Amazon, if you're considering Russell Crowe, whatever he costs, I'm okay with. Whatever he costs.
Local hire as well, right?
Hey, you remember what they did with the biggest stunt casting on Game of Thrones season 1? Who was the biggest star on season 1 of Game of Thrones?
Boromir?
Yes. Sean Bean was the biggest star. So that got a lot of people watching Game of Thrones on the first season.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you what to do with Russell Crowe on the first season. All I know is you cast him in Lord of the Rings, I'm watching day one.
You've definitely got one fan. And there's a couple of people on here that are pretty keen as well. So good job.
Oh, boy. Sarah Thron. Yeah, Twitter's been on fire this weekend. Someone asked, what did he retweet? He didn't retweet anything Lord of the Rings. I tell you what Russell Crowe retweeted from us.
Peter Jackson?
Peter Jackson's They Shall Not Grow Old, the World War I documentary that is an experience to behold in cinemas, is coming back to theaters next month. December, there are multiple showings of They Shall Not Grow Old in theaters across the country here in America. I believe it is on BBC iPlayer right now, but I think it's leaving iPlayer and might have a limited run in the UK as well. So Peter Jackson's World War I documentary, where he used the latest technology and actual audio from soldiers that were there, recorded in the 40s and 50s.
Wow. That's impressive.
The documentary is amazing. Watch it in 3D. I'm telling you, everyone that has seen the movie will attest to it is one of the most important theatrical experiences of the last 10 years.
Fantastic.
And it's coming back to theaters. fathomevents.com. There's multiple opportunities to see it over the month in December, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Even if you've already seen it on TV, on Netflix, on HBO, on BBC iPlayer, go see They Shall Not Grow Old in theaters in 3D. It is Peter Jackson's most important work. And not that box office is the measure of success.
No, but Peter Jackson loved this project.
It is the biggest selling, most successful, most profitable movie in Fathom Events history. It is the biggest movie in Fathom Events history. And that's one of the reasons they're bringing it back for the month of December, is because there's another movie about World War I coming out called 1917. Directed by Sam Mendes. And supposedly it is just as amazing. So that is exciting. I'm going to go see it again.
Oh,
Hey,
well,
Crystal, speaking of movies coming back to theaters, what's happening this Saturday here in LA?
This Saturday at the Egyptian Theater, they are showing the full extended version of the Lord of the Rings marathon.
Which one?
All of them.
All 3 Lord of the Rings?
I think so.
On the big screen?
Yeah.
Extended edition?
Yeah.
At the world famous Egyptian Theater?
Yeah.
So we've got a pair of tickets to give away.
Ooh.
The Egyptian Theater has hooked up this community, and we've given away a few pairs on Twitter already. We gave some away on Facebook. We gave some away last week. So let's give away another pair of tickets.
Sounds good.
What trivia question should people text their answer to? Now, only text if you live in LA and want to see Lord of the Rings on Saturday.
Yeah. And you can make it.
And you can make it to Hollywood on Saturday. It's worth it. Trust me, I've done it. I've seen it. I've been there. I've seen it at the Egyptian, no less.
Wow.
It's worth it.
I have not. I haven't even seen the full extended version in theater.
53. I'm going to type the number while you think of
I'm
the trivia
excited.
question.
I can't think of a trivia question.
What is the trivia question that we should ask to win a pair of tickets to see Lord of the Rings extended editions on the big screen at the world famous Egyptian Theater? Remember, the phone number I just put in the chat room, 530-64-FRODO. That's our phone number. If you need help figuring out the numbers, look up your phone thing, and it'll tell you the numbers to put. 530-64-FRODO. Frodo. For Frodo is really my phone number. You can text me the answer. I won't take your phone call. I need to get a text so you can respond. So let's think of a good question.
This is definitely Clifford's area of expertise.
So while she's figuring that out, Diane in the chat room says, if you go see They Shall Not Grow Old, make sure to stay for the 30-minute behind the scenes after the credits. Absolutely, 100%. Whatever the showtime is, expect an extra 30 to 45 minutes past what you think it's going to end, because there's an amazing documentary on how they did Peter Jackson's They Shall Not Grow Old. And it's not a spoiler now, because it's not a spoiler. I'm not going to say anything about the movie, but I will say this. Peter Jackson digitized all known World War I footage that he could get a hold of, and he said that there's enough stories and there's enough footage to make a sequel to this movie about the first airplanes to be put into service of war. And boy, oh boy, would I want to see that. I'm a big Air Force guy, and I would love to see a sequel to They Shall Not Grow Old about the technological innovations of flight and bombing from air, as told to Peter Jackson. What do you got for me?
Well, trying to think of one just from the extended version, but
What do we got?
what is the red one? Do you think?
That is a good question. So, all right. Remember, 530-64-FRODO if you want tickets to the Egyptian Theater this Saturday, just after Thanksgiving, this Saturday. What is the name of the broken sword that is reforged as Anduril? Text me that. Answer. What is the name of the broken sword that is reforged as Anduril? Text it, 530-64-FRODO if you want tickets to the Egyptian Theater Hollywood trilogy screening. Are you going to be there?
Funny, I will be there. I bought tickets like straight away. I was like, yes.
You bought tickets.
It did. I bought tickets. I'm
no
not waiting for
bamboozle
this.
here. We don't get tickets and give them away just because. You got to
great.
earn this. You bought your own tickets because you needed to see it.
I did. I needed to see it, and then I jump on a plane a couple of hours later and fly back home for the holidays. So it's a mic drop moment for LA.
So you're going to be in Australia and New Zealand at the same exact time that Lord of the Rings is filming in New Zealand?
I'll be in the general vicinity, yes.
In the right hemisphere.
In the right hemisphere.
You'll be in the correct hemisphere.
Almost in the right time zone.
Let me ask you this. New Zealand will not sponsor visas for background actors, horse masters, people that can ride horses. There isn't enough time and budget to sponsor Americans bringing over their working on the show. Sure. Can you, as an Australian, work in New Zealand?
Yes. Hire me.
What else? So here's your opportunity. What makes you qualified to work on Lord of the Rings?
Oh my god! Actually, funny because they did give like a couple of qualities that they're looking for when they were
in the casting.
In our rumors casting thing. They're looking for tall people, for short people, for bearded people, for people with wonderful noses.
Noses?
Yeah, wonderful noses. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but that's cool. People with freckles, red-headed people. So there's a place to start there for casting.
Here's what we know watching the appendices of Lord of the Rings. They were really hard up on finding people that could ride horses.
Good. Yes.
And remember, essential. The Rohirrim were half made up of women in beards because they couldn't find enough men to ride the horses.
Yes.
Can you ride a horse?
I can.
Can you do tricks on a horse? Like, have you done like jumps and stuff like that?
Gosh, no, I haven't.
What do they call that? When the horse is doing...
Yeah, no.
You guys in the chat room know what I'm talking about. Do.
I saw all the behind the scenes of like the riders training the horse as well to like get used to all the loud noises and gunfire and like the clanging of swords and that kind of thing. So that was interesting.
Okay. So you can ride a horse confidently?
Yes.
Are you willing to put a beard on? And
I will do it. I will put on a beard.
A Men of Numenor. Also, the other thing that Lord of the Rings may be looking for are people with knowledge of archery.
Oh yeah, I can shoot a bow and arrow.
You can shoot a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
I can't.
I took fencing lessons as well. So
fencing?
Yeah.
Wait, so you've got fencing, you've got archery, you've got horseback. Who are you? What type of life of leisure have you been privileged to grow up in?
There's just so much to learn in this world. I'm an eternal sponge. I will learn anything you teach me. I love it. I love learning.
So if you do all that, have you done any barrel riding?
Like on the water?
I don't know. Barrel riding.
I've been in a barrel rolling down a hill, but not on a barrel.
All right. How about if you were to, if they needed extra dwarves, can you do cross country? Or no, dwarves are never good. Dwarves are never good at cross country.
No, they don't. They just sprint.
Shad in the chat room says, "You're Merida."
Fantastic. Love it.
Firebeards.
Firebeards.
The controversial Lord of the Rings film opinion is the blade was broken. Oh my gosh. People are is that a reference to the Twitter controversy?
Ooh.
Not controversy. Yeah, it was controversy. Yeah, today, over the weekend there was this meme going on. It's like, tell me your most controversial opinion about X. It was like about movies, about Star Wars, about this, about that, about cooking. So we posted. Tell us your most controversial opinion about the Lord of the Rings books. Books. Boy, oh boy. Go to our Twitter account, the One Ring Net. All one word. See some of the replies to this. I was not expecting so much disregard for Tom Bombadil.
Oh no.
I mean, I have to listen to Cliff all the time lament over the loss of Tom Bombadil in the movies and how great it would be to see Tom Bombadil in the new Second Age TV show. And there's a bunch of fans on Twitter that are having none of that.
Ooh. Okay.
Helen, I appreciate your engagement, but not here. Not now. What do you think? You've read the Lord of the Rings.
I have. Quite a while ago.
What is your most controversial opinion of the books?
Oh, gee. Like book to movie or just,
Just
within
the
the
book.
books?
You read the books and were like, put it down, and you're like, huh, okay.
Gosh, that's really on the spot. I think the last time I read them was when I was like 15 or something.
Yeah, I read them after the movies came out. I knew nothing about Lord of the Rings. I never read The Hobbit. I vaguely remember the cartoon. So I went in as clean as you can for the Lord of the Rings films. Had such a great time, and the fans were amazing that I finally I read the books, read Lord of the Rings, and boy, oh boy, Tom Bombadil was a waste of my time. And the Two Towers book was so not good. It's so anticlimactic that there's no climax. Like, it's just, the Two Towers just exist. So my controversial opinion is that the Two Towers movie is way better than the books.
There you go. I did notice, like, when I read the book, I think the first half of the whole book is they're still in Hobbiton. They take forever to leave Hobbiton. And that for me was like, when are they going to start the adventure?
After The Hobbit came out and we saw that there's a big old dinner scene for like an hour for like the first half of the movie, they haven't left the Shire.
Yeah.
So to that point, you're coming into Lord of the Rings and they're in the Hobbiton forever.
Mm-hmm.
The Hobbit did the same thing.
Yeah.
And I just get this feeling of like, what did George Lucas used to say? It's like poetry. It rhymes. So if he started The Hobbit with the giant, long Hobbiton dinner party, it's almost like he's like, I have to start The Lord of the Rings in the Shire for a long time.
I don't know. The book was definitely too long in the Shire, I think.
Helen, you're correct. I have been promising to read The Hobbit for years, but I'm so busy.
New Year's resolution.
So busy. John Ortiz says his most controversial opinion is there's no strong female lead characters in the books.
Yeah.
So
that was a bit sad.
Is it sad?
Well, I mean, I didn't mind because I definitely connected with all the characters that he gave us. I mean, only now in retrospect am I thinking, oh yeah, there weren't any female characters, but it didn't bother me while I was reading it.
Did you hear about that mother that read The Hobbit to her daughter, but changed all pronouns to she when referencing Bilbo? So she read The Hobbit aloud to her 5-year-old, but removed all pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
And
was it still called Bilbo?
And yeah, still Bilbo.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
I don't know if she used the word she or just removed pronouns.
Okay.
Right? So like they or, whatever. But the daughter finished the book and was like, Bilbo is such an awesome girl. So by just removing the pronouns, the default setting of a mother that read the book to her daughter was like, Bilbo's a girl.
Interesting.
Because there's nothing male or female about the actions and activities in that book.
That's fair.
They just go on an adventure. Right?
There you go. Yeah.
Is Amazon right to kind of address that by making the new show lead character a girl where Tolkien never did?
Interesting.
Are they right? Because a lot of fans, and I like to call them Tolkien fundamentalists, a lot of older fans will take umbrage to a female-driven show because Tolkien never wrote a female-centric book.
Interesting. I guess who was Tolkien's audience at the time then? Who was the ones that were reading his fantasies and his books and who he is writing the stories for? So his children, his grandchildren, and he had that audience in mind. Because we know, like C.S. Lewis, he had 4 kids at his house that he was creating these stories for, and he would make. There was 4 girls that he was reading the stories to, but eventually changed them to two boys and 2 girls.
Huh.
So, I don't know. Just thought I'd put that 2 cents in.
Okay. So it's kind of a non-issue. Basically, what we're coming around to this conversation of like what Amazon's going to do with the show. It's a non-issue.
Well, I don't want the focus to be on, yeah, she's a woman. Yeah. I want the focus to be on, this is a great character because ... She values this, or she is badass because of this action or this character. It's not like, oh, yeah, we casted her. We chose you because you're a woman. I don't want that. I want quality.
Are you okay? Are you okay with the idea of 20-something Galadriel and 20-something Elrond? Are you okay with watching that show?
Sure.
Does it make sense?
If it makes sense
but does
in
it
the
make
second...
sense?
That's a Cliff question.
A Cliff will say it makes no sense.
Well, then it makes no sense.
But I might be wrong. I will not speak for Cliff. Cliff, we miss you. We'll look forward to get back with you pretty soon. So I think everything we're hearing, everything you've heard so far on Lord of the Rings, does it bring you caution? Does it give you more confidence?
I am always cautious.
Always cautious.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because, I mean, again, this is nothing concrete. These are just rumors that we're gleaning from
This is the
other
fun
people.
part of fandom, though.
Yes.
When we get to talk about all the rumors and everything like that.
Where are those stress balls? I need
Yes.
them. I need them.
If you missed the show last week, we showed off the first swag, the first swag that the One Ring ever made, and they were stress balls.
It's very appropriate.
Yeah, you think
we need
you're
them.
stressed
Bring them
now?
back.
You think you're stressed about Amazon now? Like, look, we had stress balls because there were so many things going wrong. Like the accents of the hobbits are all wrong.
Yeah.
Who is this Stuart Townsend guy? Who is Viggo Mortensen? His contract was negotiated in 5 days. How can he step
Andy
up?
Serkis
Andy
photos.
Serkis looks nothing like Gollum, and he speaks nothing like Gollum. Boy, there was a lot to be stressed about for Lord
Little
of the Rings.
did we know.
Yeah. Helen says 20-year-old Galadriel is a wee bairn. Yes. Hey, Scuba Steve says, where did you guys get your shirts? This is a shirt that the One Ring had at Comic-Con several years ago. May the dwarves be with you. It was episode 7 of Star Wars was coming out, and The Hobbit, 3rd movie, was coming out the same year.
Because they always come out at the same time.
And it was just like, you know what? This is looking fun. Maybe it wasn't the same year, but it was. Anyway, may the dwarves be with you. Limited edition shirt. I don't think we can bring this back. What about your shirt?
Mine's just let me move that.
What? Kingdom of Gondor?
Yeah,
The
it's
white
the white
tree of Gondor.
That's it.
Yes.
I think my friend bought it for me online.
Aravandi in the chat room says, gender swapping is fine for fanfic, but I'm not into the idea of it for the series. I definitely prefer original characters.
Yeah.
Or ones from the Legendarium. Yeah, that's good.
I'd prefer original characters for sure, yeah.
You know, we don't have time to talk about it, but if we go along this thread of like the main character is a 20-something female that has some mystical abilities, or whatever that language was, and if we presume that it's a 20-something Galadriel, who are some actresses that would be good?
Good point.
So I need to do some research. I need to watch the CW's Crisis of Infinite Earths that starts this Sunday on the CW, because there's a lot of great actresses in that series, in all of those series. There's like 10 TV shows on the CW that I love watching.
They definitely suck you into the whole Arrowverse thing.
Yes, it's so good.
So many crossovers.
So anyway, that's the big news for today. For this week, for Torn Tuesday. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And eat all the potatoes you want. We are a Lord of the Rings fan site, so everyone's going to eat potatoes. You boil them, you mash them, you stick them in a stew.
However you want to eat potatoes, eat taters.
Eat potatoes. Samwise demands it.
He does.
Look up, and your homework is to look up on YouTube Penn and Teller potato diet.
Yes.
I swear, this is the real deal. He lost a lot of weight eating potatoes. He is a human form of Samwise Gamgee.
There you go.
That magician named Penn Jillette did the potato diet. And then your other homework is to look up Richard Armitage talks
the Silmarillion.
Silmarillion.
Yes, I'm
and
definitely going to do
fall
that.
in love with that man all over again.
And why not research some actors that you think would be good in the Lord of the Rings TV series, or people that can play younger versions of Galadriel, since we have the younger version of Elrond.
Yeah, we have the young Elrond.
Rumored.
It's so obvious we have the young version of Elrond.
It's an obvious rumor.
His twin brother Elros. So your homework is to find a good 20-something young version of Galadriel, of Cate Blanchett, and we'll talk about that next week. Thank you all for joining us here at Scum and Villainy Cantina. Always open to fans, any fandom.
Yeah.
And if you're ever in LA, please make an effort to come to Scum and Villainy. Cliff and I might meet you here because Cliff just lives down the street.
He does. So lucky.
Enjoy Lord of the Rings on the big screen for the first time.
I will be there, and hopefully, if you texted in the correct answer, you guys will be there too.
Yes, I see some answers. Coming in. So
sweet.
Thank you, everybody, and we are going to.
And happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, and I can't believe you're going to be so close to the filming of Lord of the Rings at the right time. Like,
Close,
you got to get on the
not
show.
that close.
The fact that an Australian can work in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I hope
try.
I never
I'll
see
see
you
what
again until the show is over. Like, the next time I see you is on
Fair
the
enough.
screen.
I'll be the one spreading the secret rumors.
Yeah. No, just kidding. Amazon,
Just
hire
kidding.
her.
I'm not. I would never do that, Amazon.
She can ride a horse. She can sword play, and she can archery.
Yes, I
and
can archery.
act.
And act.
That's the most important thing.
Foremost.
All right. We'll
Yes.
see you guys next week on Torn Tuesday.
All right. Bye.